Alrighty, this We the People News. One more time at it. Nah, educational purposes only. Never look straight forward. Always look around and be able to protect yourself by any means necessary. Not attorney, not giving legal advice. Do your own research. Okay. This is just a video to kind of think outside the box. What you can do. All right. And this gonna be next one is gonna be challenging jurisdiction, which all attorneys tell you not to do it. All right, let's go.
And then there's challenge jurisdiction. How long is that one? Oh, it's not very long. 3 pages. Yeah. Just a second, I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, comes now John Smith, a natural person in the above styled action. The alleged defendant denies that this court has jurisdiction over his person. The alleged defendant denies being a citizen of the United States, a citizen of the federal government via the 14th Amendment, being an alien from another country, being anything other than a citizen of a state in which he is domiciled, which is Idaho. The alleged defendant reserves all rights secured to him by the Idaho Constitution, which includes both enumerated and unenumerated rights. Alleged defendant makes the statements below. All issues are covered in detail in the demur. Refer to the reader to the demur for details instead of duplicating many pages of paperwork. Rights of pro se regarding paperwork, see demur. Rather than trying to get complicated in sentence structure to create elaborate and hard to understand denials for the plaintiff to try to overcome, in order to simplify things as much as possible, I hate to make the following statements and deny the plaintiff can prove me wrong. I make the following statements and deny the plaintiff can prove me wrong. The Idaho statutes taken as a whole are void for vagueness when it comes to the alleged defendant. The Idaho statutes are not true laws of Idaho as authorized by the Idaho Constitution to be imposed on the alleged defendant. The charging instrument's defective. The plaintiff lacks standing. The district attorney lacks standing. The Idaho statutes are overbreadth and void for vagueness when imposed on the alleged defendant. The alleged defendant fails to be a person subject to the system of law this court enforces. The alleged defendant is only subject to the common law embodied in the Idaho Constitution. This court is not a court established by the legislature in harmony with Article 5, Section 2 of the Idaho Constitution. The government of Idaho is constitutionally forbidden to prosecute the alleged defendant in any court not established by the legislature in harmony with Article 5, Section 2 of the Idaho Constitution. This court is constitutionally barred from acquired jurisdiction over the alleged defendant. And here's some court cases. He must allege in his pleadings the facts essential to show jurisdiction. If he fails to make the necessary allegations, he has no standing. If his allegations of jurisdictional facts are challenged by his adversary in any appropriate manner, he must support them by competent proof. There's some good court cases here. Yeah. Jurisdiction over a defendant requires both personal and subject matter jurisdiction. The statutory provision merely codifies the well-established principle that the courts acquire authority to adjudicate a matter when they have both subject matter and in personam jurisdiction. Therefore, if the court has jurisdiction of the parties and the subject matter, its actions are not void, no matter how erroneous they may be. On the other hand, judicial action without jurisdiction is void, where the court is without jurisdiction and has no authority to do anything other than dismiss the case. Under Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 60B4, void judgments entered where the court lacked either subject matter or personal jurisdiction, or that were otherwise entered in violation of due process of law, must be set aside. Mandates and setting aside of judgments if the court lacked personal jurisdiction over the defendant against whom it was entered. The alleged defendant fails to be a citizen of the United States, so the FR's Federal Rules of Civil Procedure does not secure any rights to the alleged defendant However, it is quoted because it is simply the common law codified, which is the system of law the alleged defendant is under, because that is the law incorporated into the Idaho Constitution. And that's it. That's like 3 pages.
Actually, Dan, since you're there, go ahead and send it to me, because I wrote down, because there are some good cases.
There's some good cases, yeah, for sure. Okay, let me,
Sometimes just keeping it stupid simple is the biggest outcome. Just saying. Let's see what else is over here.
Talking to the dad, as far as the all cap state of Idaho.
right.
It's like
Okay. So,
trial.
Right.
And I,
that being said, these are just things to look at. Okay. A while back, I gave a couple of videos on questions for your city, telling you how you please explain how I'm regulated. Where's that authority come from? Okay, so even if it's challenged or statutes or city codes and all that, you must ask these questions. Where's your constitutional authority? Just because they write something down on a piece of paper don't mean nothing if it does not coincide with the Constitution in the first place. Okay? And you got to use these definitions of words. Like the person, you have to be clear on the person. Whether they're just talking about the overall of how men and women speak to one another and call one another person, or if it's the legal term person, right? We need to be clear of these words that they speak of, the trickery of words to convict you of any form, okay? Whether it's a traffic ticket all the way up to murder and all that kind of stuff, okay? So we've got to ask these questions. Or innocent people is going to just keep getting thrown in jail, and all these officers just keep beating people up. Just saying. I am for officers, by the way. So therefore, I'm not against them. They just need to go within the guidelines of their oath of office. That's the treaty to the people. Okay, they're contracted for us, that they're going to uphold the Constitution. But they never go by it. They only go by the statutes. So even statutes can work for you or against you. But the overall construct of these things is the way the attorneys are telling your legislatures how to write these words. It puts everybody into misunderstanding, and then all the government officials misimplying it against you. Because the way the officers look at it, you're a subject. And if you're a subject, then you have no constitutional authority in his presence. That you are beneath him. And he is your God at that time. The way that things are working out today. A constitutional sheriff, constitutional cops and all that, don't just automatically think that. They do the investigation to find out which direction to go. And find the evidence of just cause for their actions. And if you challenge them, they don't answer it. That's silence acquiescence. And they tacitly agree to your terms that, so you're willfully ignorant of the Constitution and you're willfully ignorant of the statutes I'm speaking of. You got to bring these up in their body cam and your while you're filming them. Always film them. You don't have to use it in court. Find out if it's going to be beneficial. Moreover, I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm just letting you process these things to think outside the box. Never, never just look straight forward. Always look around you to be able to protect yourself. Because if you can't do this at the beginning, it's going to be hours later before your attorney reaches to you. And if you get a corner-point attorney, it's going to be weeks or maybe days before your attorney comes to you. Just saying. Meanwhile, as you've been innocent and in imprisonment as a slave at that particular time, and waiting and waiting and waiting, well, you just lost your job, your finances, and all kinds of distractions that's going to fall upon you. This is We the People News. Bye, y'all.